as well as do us flying doctors.
Okay, all right.
Don't know if you've heard about it or not, but you will.
I look forward to it.
Good. Good. All right. Good seeing you.
Thank you.
He does a really good job. Jeff, who's
Okay, I got it.
in charge of our academics. So, retired. His son is our
So where we were was like Adobe campus area. They're gonna have that kind of like and there was almost 44. I guess we discounted.
They're trying to get, he put in a request for an
And
LED.
then like 5 loads of trash, 5 loads
They
of
have that for
trash.
something. I think that third.
We're sorry about if you're not serious, I'm serious. They usually get up there and joke and laugh and make things.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you wish to extend the invocation of our Reverend Don Thursbury Little Church of the Desert.
As we start in, if we could, I know it's been overdone, but I think it's appropriate we take a few seconds to think about our friends to the west. Gracious Lord, as we think about neighbors, that seems appropriate as we embark upon a new year as a community. As we come from our diverse backgrounds, religions, faiths, political points of view, we find ourselves pushed and challenged to think about something even more important, and that is one another. The welfare of neighbors, their good, their survival, their ability to begin again. These are things that we can use as guideposts for looking to the year ahead. We pray that as our city council does so, that they will set the tone for us as we seek to be just, to show kindness and compassion to one another, to walk in all humility side by side as we seek to build the kind of community that continues to care about those in trouble as our neighbors to the west, but also as it involves the welfare of the people around us, beside us, and often right between our noses. In Christ we ask. Amen.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilmember Ramirez,
Here.
Councilmember Scott,
Here.
Councilmember Wright,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz,
Here.
Mayor Bildering.
Here.
All present.
No closed session announcements as of yet. Changes to the agenda.
Mayor, there is one item, and that is item 9, award for agreement of design services for the Hatch Road and Sullivan Road bike path. Staff respectfully requests that we pull this from the consent, hear this separately, as the city attorney would like the ability to do some additional negotiation on the contract. Still receive, hopefully, council approval tonight, but subject to the city attorney working out some additional legal details.
Thank you. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website, www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going on the website and clicking on the meeting agenda's link. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamation. First, the State of Base address by Brigadier General Mark H. Clingan.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity for me to come and give you the state of the base. For those in the great audience that don't know me, I'm Mark Clingan, and the Marine Corps has absolutely blessed me with giving me the greatest job in the Marine Corps, and that is to be the commanding general here at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center here at 29 Palms. When I was afforded the opportunity to come here to speak tonight, I jumped at it, and the reason why is because what we do on this base is so important, but we can't do that with strong partnerships that we have with the community. The strong partnerships we have the community make stronger families, better Marines, and it's part of our combat mission to be ready to do what we're supposed to be doing. And so this requires collaboration, it requires advocacy, it requires direct support, but most of all, it requires direct communication and cooperation. And me being here tonight, I hope, is another step in this to continue on the dialogue and cooperation as we go forward. But in short, we can't do what we do at the base without the support that we get from you in the community. So before I talk about the vision of what we do here on the base, you'll see we have two logos. I'll start with the one on the right with the 3 palm trees. That's the logo for the base, the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center. And so half of what we do within our staff focuses on the daily functioning of the combat center and all the tenant units. And then the logo on the left-hand side for MACTAF TC, or Marine Air Ground Task Force Training Command, deals with the actual activities of what we do on the base with combined arms. And many of the units are here at 29 Palms, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but we have other units that are located in other places across the United States. But anyway, our vision is to be able to go ahead and provide the best training, combined arms, live fire, and virtual live constructive training for the units to prepare them for combat before they go ahead and deploy. And so you can see from the map here, and hopefully for those in the back can get a chance to see what we have here at the Combat Center. We are the largest base within the Marine Corps. So you could fit, I think, 3 or 4 Camp Pendletons inside the space that we have. And so that's really unique because we have the ability to drop just about every munition within our inventory, and we can maneuver any sized unit within the Marine Corps on the base. And so because of that, we take units from all over the United States and even OCONUS, and even our allies and partners, say overseas. So we have units that are stationed overseas, and we even have allies and partners from overseas that will actually come here to 29 Palms to do some key vital training that they're not able to achieve anywhere else. And so I'm sure the old timers who've been around, they probably remember the days of combined arms exercise, or CACs, and then we had Mojave Viper, and then enhanced Mojave Viper. Well, now we have a thing called ITX, Integrated Training Exercise. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But we still do many of the same things we've been doing for decades within that huge training area. So this is the command structure. As I talked about, 2 different commands, and I won't bore you with it, but basically there are 8 elements within MACTAF TC, or Marine Air Ground Task Force Training Command, and and most of them are located here, but we do have other units that are located at Bridgeport up on the mountain here in California, at Yuma, Arizona, San Diego, and then one in Norfolk, Virginia. But we support all the tenant units that are here at 29 Palms, to include 7th Marines, and then also, I'm sure everybody's heard of McSess, the Comelec School, with all the students they have going through there. We're also part of supporting them, even though they're not part of our formal command structure. So I think everyone has probably heard, well, maybe not, service level training. Well, let me take a step back. So there are two types of training we do here at the base. The bottom line is the unit level training, and that's for all the tenant units that are stationed here at 29 Palms. And so that's the blue line that's on the bottom, and that goes pretty much year-round. Occasionally you'll get units from Camp Pendleton to drive up for unit level training, but that's pretty persistent. But the SLT, or service level training exercises, are major events where units from all across the Marine Corps and overseas come here to do major training events. And so you'll probably realize that when you see the massive convoys that are driving down the highway with tons of vehicles and tractor trailers with tactical vehicles, or you see a bunch of more aircraft flying over, and then the noise, unfortunately, probably increases. And as we joke, that's the sound of freedom when all those bombs are going off. Yeah, exactly. But so the service level training that we do is aggregated usually to in the summertime and then into the wintertime. And so we try and group that to run different units through. And the reason why we group it during that time frame has to do with aviation availability, but also the force rotation cycle that we have to get units ready for their deployments. So we get a lot of questions about why. And so for those who've been in the Marine Corps, the saying across the Marine Corps is that Quantico, Virginia is the crossroads of the Marine Corps. But I would argue that's really not the case. 29 Palms is the crossroads of the Marine Corps, because almost every unit in the Marine Corps, all the ground combat element units, come here at least once every 2 years. And so if you walk into the exchange or somewhere else on base, it's like a family reunion. You see Marines hugging each other because this is where everybody comes. And the training we do here, like I said, you can't do this training in many other places. Sometimes 29 Palms is the only place that you can do this training because of the size and space that we have for maneuver and also for the live fire. All right. So I think many of you, if you stay up with current events for what's going on with the Marine Corps, will know that the Marine Corps is undergoing force design, and that is basically changing the force structure of what the Marine Corps is doing to be able to adapt to the threats that we anticipate on the evolving modern battlefield. And I think most importantly for people on the base, there are certain units that used to be on the base that are no longer there. So my chief of staff here is a tanker or armor officer, and we give him a hard time because 1st Tank Battalion, great battalion, unfortunately we don't have tanks anymore. And there are other units like MWSS 374, and anyway, there are other units. So we have less tenants here on the base than we used to. But what's really kind of neat is a lot of the experimentation we're doing for force design and what the future infantry battalion will look like. We do a lot of that experimentation here at 29 Palms. And so again, units and from the Marine Corps Warfighting Lab in Virginia, they all come out here for the young Marines to experiment and play with the new technology and figure out what works. But as we look forward for force design, if there are questions about this, I can probably entertain them at the end. Force design is not just about getting smaller, it's about becoming more lethal. And so there have been a lot of changes, and so a lot of the things that we thought we would move to, downsizing, we've actually kind of moved back and adjusted because the more we learn with the experimentation we do here at the base, the more we understand what the future Marine Corps needs to look like. All right. So this shows you the personal strength that we have right now. We expect to grow a little bit in this year, going into 2025. And actually, that slide shows 24. But yeah, it shows the growth. So we grew a little bit in '24, and we're expected to grow perhaps a little bit more in 2025, but we expect the numbers on base to stay pretty much the same going forward. So I think everybody who's been around here at 29 Palms and the Morongo Basin knows that how impactful the base is here. But as with our estimation, and somebody here can maybe correct me, but we've contributed about $1.1 billion annually to the regional economy just by the civilians, employees, and all the service members we have on the base. By our calculation, we're the basin's most significant employer, estimated at 41% of the total employment in the area. And veterans make about 10% of the community, which is above the national average of 7%. And so what we do on base, as I mentioned previously, is so key and dependent upon the relations we have with the community. So in this past year, with all the community relations and events that we've done on base, we've estimated that we've reached out and touched about 80,000 people with some benefit to both the communities and also the tenants here at the Combat Center. So we've done community events such as Career Day, parades, Memorial and Veterans Day celebrations, 4th of July, car shows, military tribute, and golf tournaments. In the spring, we hosted 25 community leaders for a luncheon with follow-on interactive base tour for them to understand what we do here on the base. We've also hosted Military Career Day for about 100 local high school students to see what it's like to be in the military. And then we've also organized back-to-school resource fair for more than 500 participants and a whole host of other things that we've done on the base. We've also partnered with Morongo Unified School District to host the annual job shadowing event, hosting students. So we try and do as much as we can. We know there are opportunities to do other integration, and we're open to other possibilities going forward. So I have a slide here, key opportunities. The slide was initially key challenges, but challenges are also opportunities going forward. But I'll just mention a few things off the top of my head. One of the biggest challenges we have is with child care for military and civilian families, both on the base and off. But we know that's also a challenge that for the local community that we can potentially look at some collaborative approaches going ahead. Spouse employment is a challenge on the base, but we know that there are lots of employment opportunities on base and off base to go ahead and employ a phenomenal untapped workforce. Transportation in and around the base and on the base has been a challenge for young Marines, especially the students at McSess, for them to get access to the local community. And then also for young families that maybe only have a single vehicle where the Marine drives the vehicle to work and then the spouse can't go ahead and get the medical appointments or be able to do the basic grocery shopping and other things for the family. And then healthcare access. I know we have to send a lot of people down the hill all the way to to Palm Springs or even to San Diego for a lot of healthcare concerns. But there are other opportunities we know that are here in the local community that we can possibly take a look at. So I could go on for a while, but let me pause right there and just say that it's an honor to be here this evening and talk to you, but I'm really curious to hear about what questions, comments, or concerns, and look forward to the ongoing dialogue, discussion, and collaboration. So thank you.
Thank you. Comments? Questions? Anyone from the public? No?
Oh, there's one.
Got one.
I have a question. My name's Forrest Salton. I lived in Fallbrook for 20 years, close to the western edge. And at certain times of the year, there was a lot of Hughes and other helicopters going back and forth. Were they going from there to here?
Yes.
That's
Well.
what I thought. I won that bet then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? All right.
I guess before I go, if I could just give one anecdotal story, which I think may be helpful. So my family and I were repeat offenders. We were here about 15 years ago when I was with 3rd LAR. And our kids were little then, and we have a lot of great memories being here at 29 Palms. In any event, my daughter, our oldest, she enlisted in the Marine Corps, and so she came back on Christmas leave, and it was like coming home for her. And so while she was here, we went to the theater to see The Sound of Music. We hiked 49 Palms. We went to a bunch of local stores. We ate at a bunch of different places, Rockies, the Ground Squirrel, and a few other places. And so she went back to her duty station, and she was talking to one of her fellow sergeants who was stationed out here with one of the infantry battalions, 1-7. He was here for 4 years. And he was like, hey, I think you did in 1 week at 29 Palms more in that 1 week than I did at 4 years when I was stationed here. And so this is a different 29 Palms than when I was here before. I mean, it was good before, but there's so much more to do. And I think that we just need to be able to repackage, re-advertise, and re-coordinate things. And I think that this, it's a great place to be, but I think we can make it that much better for everyone else. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. All right. Number 2, presentation by the Public Arts Advisory Committee, PAAC, of the Artist of the Year Award.
Good evening, council members. You all look really sharp tonight. Every month I heard is picture day. I'd like to present, Keith, should I come get that? Is that what you were motioning to? On behalf of the Public Arts Advisory Committee, I'd like to introduce Leanne Clark. Leanne joined Action Council for 29 Palms in 2009, which is a nonprofit organization formed in 1994, specializing in world-class outdoor murals. She has been instrumental in preserving the integrity of our community's historic murals through restoration of the murals, such as mural number 5, and overseeing new murals. Leanne also aids in working with the PAAC on maintaining a current inventory of public art, and she also served on the PAAC between 2018 and 2022. A legacy of PAAC's former chair, Anna Stump, was to establish the annual 29 Palms Arts and Culture Award to acknowledge outstanding contributions by a community member or organization to the arts and culture of our city. And it is a great privilege and honor for the City of 29 Palms Public Arts Advisory Committee to present its first Arts and Culture Award to Leanne for her generosity and dedication to public art in 29 Palms. Thank you, Leanne. Would you like to come and say a few words?
Yes.
All right. Oh, is it picture time? This time I'm dressed better.
Yes, we've got you. We're all here for picture day.
Thank you, Cindy. All right.
Well, I just want to, first of all, thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for allowing me this opportunity. I love this city. The city's been very good to me. It saved me back in 1994, and that's why I'm very dedicated to it. And I've always really enjoyed the public arts, and I've really had a lot of fun being a part of the Public Arts Advisory Committee. And I want to thank Anna Stump and Kate and many of the board members, and of course the new group that's coming in. I've had a really great time working with Keith and everyone, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. And I was very surprised and honored when I was told that I would be the first recipient of the Arts and Cultural Award. When I came to this public art community in 2009, little did I know that many things were going to come from that. Also receiving in 2016 the Mayor's Citizen of the Year Award for contribution to public art and for the chalk art workshops for the youth. and just many great things have come. So I'm looking forward, and I'm hoping more will come on board and be a part of our great art community and for our great community here in 29 Palms. And I want to thank you all for supporting me over the years, supporting Action Council, supporting when we did the repaint of mural number 5, which was a massive undertaking with Chuck Kaplinger in his early 80s, and being able to actually reproduce 5 separate murals on that one wall. So I also want to thank the newest mural that came in November of 2024 at Desert Ace Hardware, if you haven't had a chance to see it. But I'm just excited to see that what formed in 1994 is continuing on today without really Action Council having to necessarily be involved in putting the murals together. So thank you all so much, and God bless.
Thank you. All right. Number 3, presentation to Feather and Fur Wildlife Rehab Team and Morongo Basin Arch for their participation in the Cash for Trash Recycle Program.
Yeah, let's all go. Can we go together?
Yes.
Yes.
Who's first? I got 2 slippers yet.
We have in the front will be Connie, and it's her birthday today, by the
Oh,
way.
happy birthday.
I'm officially old.
Oh.
So we're doing feathers and fur first?
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Oh, Ashley, come on. This is Ashley. She's one of my Marine volunteers. And she was there that day and worked really hard.
Okay. Would you like to tell us where you picked trash up and how much you got?
Did I tell you? Oh,
Oh.
we went up, it was up Adobe, like between Cactus and Oakdale.
Mhm.
There was 2 lots.
Okay.
And how many loads did we do in my truck?
It was 5.
Five
Oh,
big loads. Yeah, we
nice.
kind of messed up the dumpster area because there was so much trash.
Oh, well, that's good though. But we have, Burtech has a check for $300 and the city of 29 Palms has a check for $300.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to say thank you to them?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, City of 29 for this program.
Now we got, come up here and get a picture.
Okay. Can you send them to me? Wait, I'm in the middle because you guys are the tall ones. Come on. Huh? It doesn't matter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we had also had Morongo Basin Arch. You guys picked up trash.
We picked up our board participated, and we have Deacon Gerald Turner here as part of our board. We picked up 3 lots by Rite Aid, behind Rite Aid and then to the east of Rite Aid, and piled everything up in the back of my pickup truck.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a check here from Burtech for $300 and a check from the city of 29 Palms for $300. Thank you so much for helping keep our city clean.
And thank you very much for your continued support.
Mac, is that your twin?
Yeah, that's my doppelganger. That's
Yeah,
my,
it feels like
that's my stand-in.
I'm just looking like. All right, council comments and reports of meetings attended. We will start off with Councilmember Ramirez.
It was a move this a bit closer. Very busy holiday weekend. Holiday season. I attended the East Valley Regional Steering Committee meeting. I attended the Mayor's Toy Giveaway. And I'm trying to think of everything we did. I also attended the Base General's holiday event, Shop with a Cop, and a ribbon cutting ceremony for Institute of Inquiry.
Councilmember Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also attended the ribbon cutting for the Institute of Inquiry.
The toy drive over at Freedom Plaza, as well as the golf tournament to help raise funds for Christmas. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Wright?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They pretty good. I had to write all my stuff down. But, so I did the toy handout at Freedom Plaza, the shop with the cop. That was really fun and interesting. It was good. Basically, we went to Walmart and kids came there and we got to shop with them, you know, and it wasn't my money, so I was like, yeah, let's do this. So we was spending money, but it was good. It was fun. And then we did do the ribbon cutting at the Institute of Inquiry. And I also went to the CG's meet and greet. And yeah, I think that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also went to the CG's meet and greet. Went to the Yucca Valley for the Shop with the Cops. First year I've actually got to do it. I was lucky. The young man, he liked sweatpants, sweatshirts, and Legos. So our shopping went pretty good. He was a very interesting young man. So we had a good time. I also helped with the toys giveaway that we did for the golf tournament on Friday and Saturday. We went back again on Saturday because we still had a few more toys to give out. And then last weekend I was up at Sky's the Limit parking cars, helping those folks out. And they actually did 2 sessions up there. And there was hundreds of people in those cars, both sessions. They did one early and one later. But it literally took me 10 minutes just to turn on Utah Trail into there because when the cars at 4 o'clock are coming out of that park, it's just one solid stream of cars. That's how many people are up in that park. It was pretty. I haven't seen it like that in a long time. So there is definitely folks and the visitors that come to the Sky's the Limit. There's not a lot of locals. They're all from because we ask my wife and I. We ask them where are you guys from? You know, and they'll tell us. You know, San Francisco, Germany, China, Japan. I mean, there's just a wide variety of people that visit 29 Palms, and they go to that specific site. So that's about it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before you go,
ahead.
I don't sing, but I want to wish everybody a happy birthday. That's got a birthday in January, and a shout out to Coco Haney.
I thought you were playing birthday music or something. No?
My front door. Simon stole my camera. Sorry.
All right, I attended CG's holiday reception. I also did Shop with a Cop. Toys, I had the toy handout, of course. And that was a great, last year we didn't think we had enough toys for kids. This year we had too many toys for kids. I don't know how that worked, but it was great. The second day morning, we came back and did it again. So it was a great feeling, making all the smiles happen. Ribbon cutting, participated in that. It had multiple meetings with citizens from the last meeting till now. A lot of concerns, a lot of kudos too. So it hasn't all been bad on all the meetings. Also this weekend, if you were in town, I know it was overcrowded with the fires, of course, going on. I talked to a lot of people you could tell who are not from here, besides the normal visitors to the park. And they're saying the city was amazing. The Airbnb hosts that they had to deal with and the hoteliers that they've had to check in with them last minute were very accommodating. And the people of 29 Palms were just like kind of open arms without really realizing they're just being you. So 29 Palm citizens were just being yourselves, and it showed this weekend with all the people coming in, seeing refuge from the smoke. So I thank you once again. I'm not shocked. I'll tell you, the people of 28 Palms is what makes it great here. So just throwing that out there. Thank you for everything you guys keep doing. All right. Yeah, you can clap for that, I guess, yeah. All right, now the business. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the city council and will be acted by one motion from the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the city council. The public will be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the city council action. I know we're pulling number 9. Is there any others being pulled? Council? Anyone from the public? No? Okay. So can I get a motion for those -9?
Well, I'll make a motion we accept the consent calendar with number 9 being pulled.
Second.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramirez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Buildering?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Number 9.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 9 is an agreement for design services for the Hatch Road and Sullivan Road Bike Path Project. There are a few minor tweaks that I think need to be made to the agreement on some of the legal provisions, indemnification, that sort of thing. No changes are proposed to the terms of the agreement, the business terms of the agreement, or to the price. So the staff recommendation is that you approve the agreement as presented, subject to final approval of the legal terms by my office.
Okay. Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Public?
Sorry.
They already said no. No one? All right, back.
I make a motion. We approve it, subject to approval by the city attorney's office.
I'll second.
You like how I got that right, Sid?
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Buildering?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
All right, public hearing. Number 11, Development Code Amendment, mobile home parks and special occupancy parks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is a staff recommendation that the City Council refer this back down to the Planning Commission. We do have a presentation if the City Council would like, but otherwise, we're going to recommend that it be sent back down to the Planning Commission for further review and study.
Okay, also before we move on, I have 2 emails from 20 Palms Resort, the owners, and one from Vicky Talley, to also return it to the Planning Commission. Any questions from here? Public? Is there? Is it on 11? And the email? Is it about the email? Oh, I'm sorry. I got you wrong. Robert Evans?
Honorable Mayor and council members, good evening. My name is Robert Evans. My parents, Vicky and Bill Talley, own 29 Palms Resort, and I'm glad you got the email and the letter. So we submitted a letter, made it part of the record. There are code amendments that we believe need to be re-reviewed, and we look forward to being part of the review process to provide information on mobile home, manufactured housing, and RV park operations. I would also like to acknowledge Councilmember April Ramirez for reaching out to me to discuss affordable housing options via manufactured housing. In my day job, I work for Manufactured Housing Educational Trust. It's a nonprofit trade association representing the manufactured housing industry in Inland Empire, Orange County, and Inland Empire and Orange County. We had a good discussion, and I look forward to being a resource for the Planning Commission and staff to assist in making the code supportive of future development in 29. And I'm happy to answer any questions if needed tonight. Otherwise, I look forward to working with the staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Menendez?
Hello. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on this item too. I know it's going back to the Planning Commission, but one of the things that I noticed when they had the discussion, they were talking, this is a big tourism issue because it's also going to involve commercial campgrounds and the rezoning. I know we're talking about general commercial, or I don't know the exact name of it again. But one of the things I just wanted to point out is there were questions on density, and they were trying to up the recommended. I can't remember, we went with 9, right? Or, I just wanted you guys to be cautious of this, because I think campgrounds are a great thing. We can do better than the county has. The county hasn't even finished doing what they've been trying to do. I think it's important that we set an example as a city that's been a leader in tourism, But I will caution you, as 5 years in the hell I lived as Desert Beacon, I worked with so many campground projects that were trying to do conditional uses in the county and in Yucca, and I'll tell you, you need to keep the density low because they will skirt every rule and kind of lay it out, and less is more with campgrounds. So I just want to emphasize that. I'm happy to be your resource when it comes back. And I would like to request if you could please ensure someone from the tourism board attend that meeting to discuss it, because when it went back to tourism or the following tourism board meeting, they started asking questions about it and kind of discussing all the stuff that was discussed in detail at the planning commission meeting. And it just seems like this is a big tourism thing, so someone from that board should be sitting in on that meeting. So I think it's very important. But other than that, I mean, I think it's important that we be a leader and making sure we figure out a way to make campgrounds work. One other thing, the RV park here, one thing we got to look at too is that RV park and the zoning density they're looking at, you got to remember it borders a golf course. You know, they're kind of using that to calculate the number. Not all of them will border a golf course, so that kind of skews the density ratio. So just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Kate Talley Jones? Cat, I'm sorry. right when I said it, I was like, that's not right.
Maybe I'll go to Kate. Happy New Year, and welcome to our new council member, Ramirez. I'm grateful for this chance to read a letter written by Save Our Deserts about allowing campgrounds in rural living zones. While the development code permits various uses in RL zones, it's crucial to recognize that not all these uses have the same impact. Low-intensity activities, such as small family daycares, align with the quiet, rural character of these zones. Campgrounds can often feature RVs with toy haulers, pop-up amenities, string lights, and Bluetooth speakers, creating mini towns of tourists. I'm a preventative search and rescue volunteer at the park, and this weekend we had to deal with somebody who decided to burn their Christmas tree in one of the campgrounds. So I know that weird stuff can go on in campgrounds, and also somebody from Pasadena originally. I'm very cognizant of the issue of fires right now. So we're concerned that this type of development brings noise, traffic, disruption, trash, and fires to communities that choose RL zones for their peaceful desert lifestyle. And why not create opportunities? Why not expand commercial tourist zoning through a general plan revision that offers a sustainable alternative that aligns with the intent of the development code? The scarcity of CT zone land should not serve as a justification for compromising RL zones. Instead, it highlights the need for thoughtful, forward-looking solutions that protect the character of 29 Palms while promoting responsible tourism. The desert deserves thoughtful stewardship, not rush compromises. Allowing commercial campgrounds in RO zones risks permanently altering the very landscape and lifestyle that make 29 Palms unique. The community's concerns are not about opposing all developments, but advocating for responsible, deliberate planning that respects our way of life. Thank you.
Thank you. What? Council, any additional comments? Questions? No more from the public? No, see no hands. All right, back up here.
Well, I make a motion that we send it back to Planning Commission. And I encourage all of you guys to go to that meeting and voice your opinion.
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramirez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Bildery?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Keith, when's the next meeting? Planning Commission meeting? Oh, will it be on that agenda?
Well, the next meeting is next week.
Yes. This.
So it'll probably be in another month or two.
Okay. Discussion and potential action items. Number 12, Tourism Business Improvement District T-Bid Advisory Board Appointment Recommendations. Oh, my counterpart's not here. That's on me. All right. He's gone. The recommendation was for Liz Scheckler, Operation Manager at the Campbell House and with the 29 Palms Inn. She's been there since February 2011 till now, and her daily operations are dealing with the public and the visitors coming in and out of the Campbell House and making reservations. Those are with their website and their marketing also. When we did our interview, she was very interested on the marketing of T-Bid, because she had a lot of issues just herself working with the T-Bid's actual website. She couldn't figure it out, so she was giving ideas while there and what's been working for the Campbell House over these many years of being successful. That is, I guess it's mine because he's not here. That is my recommendation for the empty seat on the T-Bid. Any questions from the council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Was this a two-person subcommittee at the time?
It was.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, no one? Yeah, paper? Yeah, paper too. Okay. Number 12. Anyone does have a paper that wants to turn one in? Okay.
I know one question that one of my cohorts had was how many people applied and what was the selection process?
There was 3.
So there's 3, but so we could, okay. I don't have any thing negative or positive to say. I mean, it sounds like a good person that will be there. You know, my concerns with the tourism board are well documented and so forth, and I don't want to beat that drum again. I just want to say I hope we can have a further dialogue because I think there are a lot of I think we are a leader in what we've done with the tourism board and as far as the hearing to the county. Yucca Valley's done a great job too. You know, I've had some really productive meetings with what I'm working on through Joshua Tree Gateway Community Alliance, and I'm working on this passport that's going to be, I have actually a lot of low desert people up to congressional level people who are actually talking to me on something we're working on. So we're going to have big things coming for the park. I actually have a meeting with the Palm Springs Airport people tomorrow. Trying to build advocacy, and we're actually talking about the airport route on Basin Transit. That's something that a lot of people don't know exists. I was talking with Hillary Sloan about that today. But anyways, just so the T-Bid, I just hope we can look at things and make sure as we move. I know they discussed going to a 5-year renewal. I was on that committee last year when we did it, which caused the up in arms. I don't think there's the support to do that, and I don't think we should be rushing in to have that discussion just yet because it's not due till July or whatever. I do have representatives from Visit Greater Palm Springs that are willing to come present to council and to our tourism board to kind of talk about the way things work down there. I think there's a lot of resources in Coachella Valley that I've been working with, and I think they want to work with us because there's a lot of interest in what we have to offer up here. And I think if we market Freedom Plaza and the great things like the base, you know, he's right. It's more than $1 billion, I'm sure, because you look at what tourism is, it's our number 2. Tourism is way more than that. So I think we need economic studies, and I know Yucca Valley's willing to come to the table, and I'm having some positive discussions with the county, finally, I feel like. So I think things will move forward. We need to acknowledge the pandemic changed everything. Let's just look at things. I know the Desert Trumpet also has covered the T-Bid extensively. I just think we need to really relook at what's going on with T-Bid. I support the concept and Visit 29 unequivocally. Thank you.
Thank you. You got a lot in for 3 minutes, too. That's pretty good. You're getting good at this. No one else? All right, back up here for recommendation.
Yes, sir. I just want to make a statement about this. I think your recommendation is solid. However, I just want to be mindful that in the future we would want to make sure that we look at someone who's a VHR owner because I think this recommendation is going to make it so that the entire board are hoteliers.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve Liz for the T-Bid.
Second.
Councilmember Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Bilderine?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
I'm looking, I don't see.
And actually, the Historic Image of 29 Palms owes to the HRs.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations. Huh?
I was going to clap.
You can if you want. Sit with the Mr. Menendez. He has a lot of things that pass. So, yeah. Yeah. All right, number 13. Am I right? Yeah, number 13, Public Arts Advisory Appointments. That be you, Keith? Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Members of the City Council are assigned to represent the city on various public agencies as board members, members of committees, or delegates. Council action is required to appoint members to these organizations. At this time, we're looking at our organizational assignment list for 2025 and looking to see who wants to participate on what committee and...
Public
I'm
Arts?
sorry, my bad.
I was like,
Oops.
I was like, did I miss
Okay,
something?
well,
I've been
then
doing false
never
sleep.
mind. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Public
That would
Arts.
be good.
Okay, so we have, okay, so we opened the recruitment for PAC appointees. The PAC reviewed those appointments, reviewed those applications, and have recommended 2 candidates for the vacancies on the PAC, in addition to Paul Razzo to continue on the PAC. So with the reappointment of Paul Razzo, the PAC is recommending candidates Rita Lilly and Janelle Angelis for appointments for a 4-year term for the PAC.
Council, any comments?
Well, I don't know either one. Is there, do they have any other here for, just to give us a brief background? That'd be nice. Okay.
Have you been on for 4 years, Razzo?
Paul, did you do the recommendation?
Okay.
Were you part of it? Yes. You want to come and speak on them? Sure. All right. Oh, yeah. Rita Lilly. We'll let Paul introduce you.
So we were very lucky to have several applicants for the positions, actually, and they all had great resumes and great experience. The PAC went to a scoring system, and then these were the candidates that won, and they are phenomenal. I have not served 4 years. I came in at the end of someone else's tenure, so I've only served 1 year, but I'm ready to take another 4 on. But yes, I'll let them introduce themselves because they're wonderful.
Gotcha.
Hello. Hello, council members. Hello, everybody. My name's Rita Lilly, and this spring I will celebrate 4 years as a resident of 29 Palms. This is a town that I find that I fall in love with over and over. I'm so glad I made the decision to move here. When I was 6, I started in the arts, so I've been involved for almost 20 years. And it's okay, almost 60 years. And now I get to bring my 2 loves together, and that is my love of the city and my love of the arts. I want to use my time on the PAC to really reach out to our young people, to our seniors, to our underserved communities. And also, I really enjoy systems and putting processes together. So another thing I look forward to is kind of helping to pave that path that artistic voices in the future will be able to walk on. So I thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hello, council members. My name is Janelle Angelis. I've been here in 29 since 2018. And my reason for really joining the PAC was when I came out here in 2018, I was exactly what most people in this community are, below the poverty line. But I really used the STR business, and I started a cleaning business, and I got a house on an owner will carry loan, something that is very unique to our community here, and it is really supportive of most of the community that cannot get traditional bank loans. And it really changed my life, this city. it allowed me to really flourish in a way that no one in my generational line had before. So I own a house in 29, I garden, I own 5 acres, I have chickens, I own my own cleaning business, I'm a poet, I returned to the arts while I was living here, returned to my childhood love of writing, I do local poetry readings, and what I really want to say is that even though our community economically is challenged, we can really use that as a stepping stone and what we have here to rise above that. And the arts is also a way to rise above that, to have our voices heard in this community. And I just want to also say that Anna Stump and Kate Short have done a tremendous amount of work making the PAAC a place that supports that. That's what it was for me. It was the first time I went out and I got to really know the arts community and share and hear other voices and hear my own voice in that room. And so I'm really, really passionate about involving community members that are like me and in that position, and letting them know that this is a place where we can come together and we can support each other no matter what the circumstances are going on in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything else from the council? Recommendations?
Well, I move that we accept the PAC's appointment of Ms. Ingalls and Lily.
And reappoint.
And
And Paul, sorry.
Second.
I got to keep reading, sorry.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Buildering?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Congratulations, all three. Welcome aboard. All right, future council initiated items. Oh, well, I just want to be like you. Just go ahead. Number 14.
Okay, good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. So this evening's discussion item, as the city clerk, city had mentioned previously, are the organizational assignments. And so for the audience here or the audience at home, there are a number of different committees, public agencies that the city needs representation on. And so this is an opportunity for our city to have that representation. And in order to ensure that one council member is not being overloaded, they typically will go out and identify and accept responsibility for the various commissions. And in most cases, they will have an alternate, so that if the primary individual is not able to attend, at least the city maintains representation at these various meetings. And so this is, as it mentions here in the staff report, valuable for networking and establishing alliances, and can really positively affect our ability to obtain grants and other revenues. And so with that, tonight's council agenda item is to go through and confirm or modify the list of various assignments that the city council should take up. So would you like me to read off each one?
Well, we have, individually, have talked individually to make sure there's no issues. Because we had some issues with a council member being gone. So you can go ahead and
Okay,
do
very good.
your part, yeah.
Okay, so for the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, the 2024 council representative was Mayor Pro Tem Joel Klink, and the alternate was Daniel Mintz.
Well, I've been to those meetings before. I mean, I'd be happy to continue on with it, unless somebody's.
I do, we have to make the motion in the council, yeah. Yeah, because I know, well, let's do it this way. I'll start with Councilmember Octavia Scott, in the subcommittees and committees you were on before, do you want to change any of them, or are you happy with last year's?
I'm happy with all the ones that I have. I would like to actually be added to the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority.
Okay, so that's a discussion we'll have here. But you're good with all the rest? Okay. Anyone have any problems with the rest?
No, I'm good.
Councilmember Wright,
I'm good with mine.
all of them, no changes.
Nope.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz,
Well, the only, you have to change is the
Personnel
Personnel Subcommittee.
Subcommittee.
That's always the mayor and the Mayor Pro Tem, so.
Yeah, we're up.
And then also,
Yes, the rest of them are fine.
the other one we'd need to modify
Would be Measure I.
is the budget and audit.
All right.
Ain't that's the mayor and mayor pro tem too, right? The budget?
Is budget audit Mayor Pro Tem? I think me and him were on there before. Me and him were on there before, even before we were Mayor Pro Tem. Because I was on there, yeah. Yeah. I am good with all of mine. So that's good there. And then, Councilmember Ramirez.
So
Budget and
there's,
audit one for Joe Klink.
that's what I was gonna say. I don't mind stepping in for Joe Klink on budget and audit. And then I would like to be added to the Planning Commission Subcommittee. And then, I don't know if I see it on here, but we also have the East Valley, San Bernardino County East Valley Regional Steering Homelessness
Was that-
Committee.
That's a new one that came on this year, so we don't have it on here, but we would
We'll
probably
add
need
it.
to add it
Were
on
you guys
there.
elected on there though?
I was elected as a board member, but maybe an alternate if I can't go.
Okay, we'll figure that out next time.
Do what?
We'll figure that out. You have the notes. All right, so the conversation now will just be San Bernardino County Transit Authority. Oh, wait,
Oh, are you talking about being the alternate? Are you talking about just being the alternate on that committee?
Well, no, it looked like it was a vacant spot because of Councilmember Klink,
Right.
and I wanted to fill that void.
There's a council representative and then an alternate.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, yes, I was talking about the representative because that's where he was at.
Well, I don't know. Like I say, I've been to those meetings and I've been representing us before, so I was on it when, but.
I'm okay with the alternate.
you're,
Yeah.
I just want to see the continuity of the people they know.
Sure,
so you
sure.
wanna- Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Because obviously, yes, we can go to some of the meetings, because that's kind of how if I wasn't actually going for Joel, I went with him a few times just to make sure that, it's changed a little bit, so.
So is that for both SBCTA and the Measure I Committee?
Okay, Measure I.
Yeah, they're the same
They're the
thing.
same.
Yeah,
So you want to be,
yeah,
you'll be
went
the
to both of them,
representative, right?
yeah.
Okay.
You want to be alternate on those? Okay. Any issues with that? Everyone's okay with that? All right, and,
I thought this desert mountain, because y'all sent me to the snow with bears, but all right, never mind.
No, that was, you went to,
Mammoth.
Mammoth once, yeah, I did that trip once too.
you didn't see the mountain part, huh? You saw
Yeah.
desert.
No, yeah, that was a long trip.
Oh, you don't like those roads, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor Bildrain, just to put a little side note on there, the Desert Mountain Division meetings, we do have 2 representatives, but we need to have them attend the meetings because they are every 2-3 months, I believe.
Well, the quarterly.
And we just need to make sure we have representation at those meetings by our representatives. I don't think we've had that consistently.
Okay.
And we've gotten a comment from a representative from there that we need to have
Got to
someone
get
at the
that
meetings.
Jeep rolling.
All right. That goes for all our meetings. So it's not just a blanket, it's all of them. We all make our meetings. If you can't make it, an alternate can't make it, just put a call out and There's 5 of us, so 3 of us can figure it out. The other 2 can't make it. So we can't drop the ball on some of these. They need us there. We lose our voice if we don't show. Planning Commission Subcommittee, we have myself would like to stay, Councilmember Scott would like to stay, and April Mayor's like to be on the committee. All right, so. I will, you know what, I will remove myself because I've done it since the beginning, since I got on council, and you only got 1 right now, so I'll give you.
If I may, I know that some of the public has voiced that they feel like District 1 does not have representation within the Planning Commission. But if you were to stay on, then District 1 essentially does have representation.
Planning Commission does not go off districting. It's not. It's about citywide.
It's about who's best qualified,
Best
correct?
qualified, yeah. It's not
Okay.
about districts. It's like the PAAC is not about districts. We don't do that. We didn't want to be in districts as a city. We were forced to, so we're not going to force that thing that we didn't want on everything else. We're doing for the best. So
Understood.
you don't need I don't need to be on the Planning Commission subcommittee to represent. We should be doing what's best for the city, right? All right.
Correct.
So we're doing what's best for the city. Doesn't matter who's on the commission, because then we start nitpicking all these other subcommittees, so we're not going to do that. So I'll remove myself from the Planning Commission subcommittee, and we'll add April. And Budget and Auditing, also Ms. Ramirez. And the Personnel Subcommittee is Mayor Pro Tem. Any other ones I missed? Oh. Council, any questions or comments before I open the public? All right. Public, Eric? Did you take these home and copy them?
I'm actually
You need a lot of
I'm
them.
over a stamper since you're making us do individual ones.
Good job.
I just wanted to comment on this, and again, I'm so glad April's on the RSC for the East Valley homelessness thing. I think I talked to you guys about how I'm now on the Healthcare District Community Healthcare Board. I just went there talking about the Joshua Tree Gateway Communities Alliance, and they asked me to please take a seat on their board and they also have 2 open spots still, and we're opening the Split Rock Center soon. So if there's anyone in the audience or on council, or if you know anyone, they're looking for, we need 2 more members for the Community Healthcare Board. I know it's kind of off topic here, but I just wanted to comment on the steering committee for homelessness. One of the concerns I had just as a professional of 20 plus years in public health was some of the members on that committee, they were running the committee, but there was no one actually with a social work or medical background. I know Stone does have kind of a background, and I know he's their new city manager, but as far as like steering the committee on behalf of the county, I've seen that there was meetings where I feel like, except, OHS from Homeless Services was there the last time. I think that was different, but I just feel like we're doing a disservice when we have all these great providers like Arch and Molding Hearts and all the other nonprofits up here show up at these county meetings and so forth, and we don't have the adequate staff in place to facilitate the meetings. And I guess that was kind of just my comment on this item, but I did also want to just say, as far as JTGCA, we did have our first meeting, and I'm meeting with a few attorneys next week to solidify our board. We are looking for people from the cities to participate, and what I've suggested with Yucca Valley is even if Parks and Rec could send someone to kind of keep a dialogue going on what we're trying to establish with Visit Greater Palm Springs. If the city could consider it, I think what we're doing is important, and we've had a lot of great feedback. So I just wanted to throw that out there. In April, if you'd like, I would love to work with you on this. I know Octavius, you've been to our booth in Palm Springs once, and I think you saw the value in it. So I just think that keep that in mind, because I think we need to look at a regional dialogue more. And I know I'm going to keep saying it, I'm not going anywhere. So, but I think there's going to be a lot of great things to come with it, because I had a lot of positive feedback. Coachella Valley has, they have all the ABCVGs, they have CVAG, they have CVEP, they have Visit Greater Palm Springs, they have all these different bands that work together to make their area successful. Same thing with their homeless steering committees. And I did go to that Desert Hot Springs event. And their deputy city manager, Doria, she's fantastic. You know what I mean? She did a great presentation on what they've done to turn homelessness around in that city. And I've had a few people from Desert Hot Springs actually reach out to me too, that we're going to be going to do some follow-up stuff with that, since I'm working with Arch, trying to help Astrid get a few things together. So I just think when we look at these regional assignments, let's just try to make sure we're advocating regionally for our area. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 minutes and 49 seconds is good.
We had 9 seconds left.
Yeah. All right, back up here for a motion. Oh, wait. You want to do East Valley? We got an alternate for the East Valley? I'll do it since I just removed myself from the subcommittee. All right.
I make a motion, we roll with what we got.
Second.
Councilmember Ramirez?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Bilderade?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
I hope in the notes I see roll that we got. I want to see that in there. Yeah. Future council initiated items. None? 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 Mr. City Manager, any movement on any of these?
We will be having some movement in the new year. The challenge on some of these things, for example, dirt roads, general plan, they're just very time intensive.
No, I just want to make sure we're moving forward. We can start knocking some of these off.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Public, anything on the future initiated before I move on? Nope. All right. Public comments. This is the time for the public to address the city council on issues with the jurisdiction of the city council that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and should not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional courteous decorum during their comments. There's a time limitation of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out name and address slips and give them to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action discussing items not included in the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Ooh. Miss Leanne Clark.
Thank you, Mayor Bilderrain, City Council. On behalf of the 29 Palms Ministerial Association and 29 Palms Bible Baptist Church, we invite the community to come out for Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day for the march. That is going to be Monday, January 20th. This year's theme is Mission Possible, Protecting Freedom, Justice, and the Democracy in the Spirit of Nonviolence 365. We're going to begin the march at 7. We're asking everyone to arrive at Little Church of the Desert in the parking lot at 7:45 a.m. on Monday morning. We'll be gathering for prayer at 7:55, and at 8 a.m. we'll promptly begin the walk, in which we will head from Little Church of the Desert to Palms Baptist Church. We'll all gather in the parking lot at 8:30, in which we will have Mayor Bilderrain present the proclamation to the 29 Palms Bible Baptist Church. They have put on this event for over 25 years, and it will be followed by a community song and ending in prayer. We're reminding everyone to please wear clothing appropriate due to the weather change, comfortable walking shoes, and bring a bottle of water. Also want to thank Stone James for reaching out to us and firming everything up. We will have Citizens Patrol assisting the walk as we have in the past. And also we do want to announce that the prayer bowl that typically follows the march has been canceled this year. However, it will resume January 19th, 2026 at Palms Baptist Church Sanctuary. So again, we invite everyone, and with it just being a shorter program this year, we would really love to have a strong turnout for our community in honoring Dr. King for what he did so many years ago for us to be able to really have the freedoms we have today. So thank you.
Thank you. Jen DeFalco?
Good evening, Council. Warm welcome to our new Councilman Ramirez. I've come before you to implore you on your kindness and your generosity. On the 23rd of January, we will be doing the point-in-time count. At this time, we have no sleeping bags or anything to offer on unhoused individuals, and it has been extremely cold. We've already lost a couple of individuals in the past couple of weeks due to weather and illness. And so I like it if the city could possibly get together, maybe some sleeping bags or blankets, maybe some coffee or something for the 23rd, when the unhoused will be coming into town to be counted. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Eileen Leslie?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Congratulations, Councilperson Ramirez. So I really believe that there has to be a discussion about water in our basin, specifically to 29 Palms. When I first got, well, let me just start this way. I'm a Californian. I have strong ties to LA County, and now since 2017, I've created very strong ties to San Bernardino County. I lost two grandmothers I never met, one to a fire, the other to a fire. I have a healthy fear of fire. I'm heavily assured. Tens of thousands of dollars I pay because of my fear of fire. With what happened in LA and how quickly it happened, I really think that we shouldn't sit back, especially in light of Wonder Valley not having their fire facility. I think that we need to sit down and really look at what we have here. We're near a national park. It supports our tourism business. And if something were to happen, that stream of income could also be lost. I, from what I understand, the base is fine, Lake Bandini, but I guess we have 49 Palms small reservoir, but we really have nothing else. And if we're looking for growth within this community and something that's going to be supportive of more growth when it comes to businesses as well, I think that's something that would be, I don't want to say an amenity, but something that's going to be a positive strength for our community to bring people in. And so I would ask that at some point we really put that on the agenda. These things are traumatic. You have so many people that in our community now that have communities to what's going on down there. And many of us know people that have lost their houses absolutely just in seconds, as you all know. You know, it's hard to pursue what we're doing. Some of you know that I had to go and spend time with my mother and take care of her over the summer, which actually postponed some of my business, you know, procedures, what I was doing downtown. That's continued now, but now she just got her warning for Brentwood, and there was a small fire in Echo Park where I also hold property. So I just would like to have some peace up here that we could also have that discussion here. I think it's really important, and it's important not just to me personally, obviously, but to the future of our city. Other people are going to be looking for other places to move to, and I think this could be an incentive as well if we're looking toward creating business incentives and maintaining our short-term residential and hotel industry. So thank you all, and everybody think about everybody down there. It's been rough.
Thank you. Eric Melendez.
Last time, I promise. So one thing, you know, I just will use my public comment to actually congratulate Leanne and the public. I can't believe in our creative city that it's our first, you know, we haven't had more of a history of that. That's one thing we don't have a shortage for up here is resilience and creativity and just great people. You know, I just want to talk about real quick on the tourism board. One of the things I just want to make sure to re-bring to council is I've requested that those meetings be televised or treated the same way as any other public meeting would be, being live streamed. It's an important industry. It's our second economic driver up here, and a lot of people can't take part in the discussions due to the timing. And I think we need to talk about that. I think we need to be transparent. One of the things I'm working on, this passport promotion, you can see it online, but it's coming very soon, but it's going to be really cool. Every city is going to have their own spread with kind of a digital background. It's going to look like a real passport with quotes like from Minerva Hoyt and other environmentalists. I'm excited to reveal that. And I can't remember what else I was going to say. I've talked about way too much today. Oh, and the boroughs, you know, the county, I don't know if anyone caught the county board of supervisors meeting this morning, but they had a couple hours of public comment on the wild boroughs they've relocated from Retchie Canyon. I think that's kind of an interesting topic with fire prevention, but I did speak today about more of a regional collaboration and just, you know, like I said, the homeless RSC. You know, I know Octavius has been a champion when it comes to the navigation center and advocating for it. One of the things with Arch, you know, I'm kind of learning more about them, and they have the arrangement with the abandoned fire station. That's up for renewal. I think these are all things we need to look at again as things have changed 5 years later since that was brought to the county the first time. So anyways, that's pretty much it for me for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, man. Jeff Grabo? Oh, it is Grabo.
Good evening, Council, Mayor Bill Durain, and people of 29 Palms, thank you. I'm a longtime resident of 29 Palms, but I spend most of my time as the corporate chair of Los Medicos Voladores Flying Doctors. I'm honored to serve as the corporate chair as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of doing what we do for mankind. We provide free medical, dental, and vision care to the underserved or not served in such places as Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Haiti, and California, where we work extensively with veterans organizations. We are an all-volunteer focused organization. None of us get a dime. In 2018, we first landed in 29 Palms. We saw right around 35 or 36 individuals, and we made about 20 pair of glasses. This is important. We quickly outgrew 29 Palms, I'm sorry to say. This year, on the 8th of May, and the 9th, Saturday the 8th of May, Sunday the 9th of May, we will be in Yucca Valley High School, where we will have 20 dentists, oral surgeons, pediatric dentists, general dentists, and hygienists who will examine, fill your cavities, and pull your teeth if need be. We will have up to 6 optometrists who will examine your eyes, and if you need glasses, they will be made on site. And it's all free. About 50% of our volunteers are from the local high schools. 29 Palms, Black Rock, and Yucca Valley. Oh, did I say May? Sorry. On March 8th and 9th, sorry. But we're always looking for volunteers. We anticipate seeing about 500 of our Morongo Basin residents. This has a tremendous economic impact. of, I don't know the dollar amount. I don't care. The number I care about is 500. But I ask you, we are volunteers. Come volunteer with us. See what your community is doing to help your community. Give us an hour or give us a day. But I guarantee you will leave and you will say there is no adjectives proper enough to describe what you have been a part of. Come join us.
Thank you. Thank you. We got one.
I'll take it.
Yep.
www.flyingdocs.org. That's our website and the volunteers.
All right, here comes the long part. City manager's update.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Tonight's, I think tonight's,
Yeah. Hang on.
and Mr. Oh,
Do you have one more?
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Lakita Johnson, and I'm proud to say at the next meeting, I am going to have the honor of reporting back about the income that Molding Hearts received to help the unhoused. I want to say this because I know there has been some questions of has Molding Hearts helped individuals. To date, we have housed 16 individuals. 3 of them have been families. And because I knew coming in, there were so many questions about Molding Hearts and what they were going to do, we have linked ourselves with government agencies. We work closely with Department of Behavioral Health, Adult Protective Services, Probation, Parole, and APS. So I want everyone to know, if you are interested to know what's going on with Molding Hearts with the unhoused, we will be reporting on the 28th. And I thank you for the opportunity to service the unhoused. I know I have received phone calls, and I want everyone to know, if an individual receives Social Security, for all government agencies, that means you have a income source for housing. When an individual is coming to Molding Hearts and they say that they already have Social Security, but they're looking for funding, that measure has already been met. And I think that's where some of the misunderstanding is coming from, is that Social Security is supposed to be for your housing, not your cigarettes, not your drugs, not any other activities. So I hope to be able to paint a picture of what's going on with Molding Hearts, how we are being successful, some of the challenges that we're having, so that we all can understand where we're going with the situation of the unhoused. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager's update.
Here it comes.
There it comes.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. Actually, there was 2 council members that had requested I actually provide an update on Molding Hearts this evening. And so thanks to Ms. Johnson's comments, we can skip that. So mine's a little bit shorter now. The second, a council member had requested an update on Split Rock Bridge. And so I imagine that the audience is pretty excited about this. We'll be happy to hear this, rather. Excitement might be a little strong. And that is the bridge is completely designed. The city has received state funding for construction. The city and its team had advertised for a bridge construction management company last fall. 3 firms were interviewed. And tonight, the Parsons Transportation Group was selected. Parsons is going to go ahead and assist the city in administering the construction phase, which is going to include things like reviewing plans and specifications for constructability, inspections, material testing. And then once Parson gets on board and really gets their hands around everything, we are going to advertise for the actual construction of the bridge to find the general contractor to do this, ideally in late spring of this year. Improving the flood control district's channel is included with the bridge project. The channel improvements will be bid as a separate project. The flood control district had some last-minute changes to channel design, and in order for the last-minute changes of the channel design to not interrupt the construction of the bridge, we went ahead and separated the two projects because we don't want to miss out on that federal funding. And so, of course, the bottom line is how long until that bridge is installed? And so the estimated time to completion is 1 year from the construction, once the construction begins. And so ideally that construction would begin sometime late this year, and then 1 year from now it would be done. Other things here, the animal control gates that the council had authorized some months ago have arrived. They actually arrived about 6 weeks early, and right now staff is working on identifying how we can go ahead and get those gates installed. So that's going to be a great improvement for the animal shelter. And then one of the other things that I thought I would just take a moment and share with the council, and spoke with some of the council and they thought that this would be appropriate, is on Friday and Saturday of this last week, during my off days, my days off here at work, I was able to go out and respond to and support the fires in Los Angeles in my capacity as a reserve deputy sheriff for LA County and an EMT. And certainly a lot to unpack. Worked about just about 30 hours in the course of those 2 days, plus some additional time on Sunday. And it was terrible. Got to see so many people lose everything. And so I've tried to put it in context of what would it be like here. And the closest that I could come up with is if we took all of the homes in Indian Cove and they all burned down. If we took all of the homes within the cemetery track and they all burned down. And that was just on the Eaton Canyon fire. I've not worked the Palisades fire. And so I'm going to be, as a policy maker and as a supporter of the city in my capacity here, I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking and unpacking what I saw and what are the lessons learned so that we can take that tragedy and figure out how can we improve what's going on here within the city. There were several things that I saw that immediately stuck out that I wanted to provide to the community. And that is, and it's no uncertain order, is separating the fuels from the structures. So I fully recognize that there is a big difference between being a mountain community or a community close to the mountains with heavy vegetation and 29 Palms. There is significantly less vegetation out here. That said, in the event of a fire, the brush, the trees, brush, or construction material or old pallets or wood that are adjacent to homes, that those things light up and that directly impacts your house and lights your house on fire. And one of the things that was so tragic, and I'll save people from the stories if they're interested, I can talk later, but really is the horizontal fire spread. The winds were so strong, I talked to one fireman who was actually fighting to save multiple houses, including his own, and he talked about horizontal fire spread. Normally, when a fire burns, it burns up. But the winds at up to 90 miles an hour pushed the flames to the side. And so that caused one house would ignite, the flames burn to the side, it immediately preheats the house to the next to it, lights that one, and it's this chain reaction. Panorama fires in, I think, 1978 illustrated this also. And so I would suggest that the people separate the fuels from the house, pull those highly flammable things away from your home. One of the other things that was remarkable, and there is, I think, grave concern amongst the authorities back in Los Angeles, are the number of people unaccounted for. And so, don't want to go into that in too much detail. I don't want to get emotional. But one of the things, I spoke to one gentleman who is a writer for the Hollywood industry. He has a home up there. And he happened to be awake at 4:30 in the morning. And he happened to hear something odd outside. And it turns out it was a police car outside going making announcements to evacuate because of a coming fire. And so he was able to go in, wake up his wife and his kids. And he also realized he had 3 elderly neighbors in their 70s, late 70s, and early 80s. And he realized there was no way that they heard those announcements. And so he was able to go rouse them and get them to evacuate. And even that evacuation was harrowing, because their traditional evacuation, their route out of their community had been cut off due to down power lines. So he had to navigate his family and these elderly people up through a completely closed community towards the fire at one point in order to access a gate. And his concern was, his belief was, had he not taken those actions, that those elderly folks would have perished. And so I would respectfully request this community absolutely go back 40 years to the relationships that we used to have with our neighbors, and make those contacts and build those relationships and look out for one another. One other thing that I thought I would include in tonight's comments, and again, trying to keep this brief, was so I had several close friends lose their family homes, and homes that I'd been in multiple times over 30 years. One of them did a remarkable job in assessing the situation. He didn't wait for the city to make an announcement about evacuations. He evaluated the situation himself, and they ultimately took 3 steps. And that was, he went in, he said, kids, wife, we've got to get out of here. And so you have 15 minutes to identify the things you must have with you. They came back 15 minutes later. He assessed the situation outside. Fire wasn't that close. He went and said, okay, now take 15 minutes and get the comfort items, things he would like for a couple of days extended. 15 minutes later, they came back. Third one, he said, okay, we've got a little bit more time. Go find the irreplaceable items that if we lost our home, you would wish you'd had. And then 15 or so minutes later, loaded up the car, and they left. And they were able to get out, and everything worked out just fine. And I say this because there were so many people that came up to the checkpoint because the area had been closed off. There were orders put in place that no one could go to their homes, had to evacuate. There was even a curfew installed between 1800 hours and 0600. But there were so many people coming up and saying, I don't have my medication. I've been away from my medication for 5 days. I don't have documents. I don't have my deeds, things like that. And I would respectfully request that our community evaluate what are those documents that you need, that if you had 5 minutes to get out of your house, and in some cases that's all they had, that they have those documents in a predetermined location so they can grab them and go. Same with medications. And so, in the interest of time, I thought I'd keep my comments on that to a relative minimum. And then there was one citizen, Miss Leslie, brought up some concerns about the water reservoirs, and I respect her perspective and her comments, and actually have already had some conversations with the water district, because as we know, the water ran out in the Palisades, and we've heard that being unpacked in the news. I was also speaking to a fireman who had the water run out in Pasadena, and they had to have fire trucks drive down into Pasadena to find a hot fire hydrant, meaning a fire hydrant with water, fill up the fire truck, and then drive back up to the fires. And so, as a friend of mine put it, water is a finite resource. And so to specifically address Ms. Leslie's concerns, as I understand it, we have about 17 million gallon capacity within our various reservoirs. And so those typically are kept at about a 90% capacity. And so I want to say the math should be about 15 million gallons of water. And so that is something that the water district is very cognizant of. I think we have a very competent water district. I think we've got great leadership in Matt Schrag, the general manager, and the board. But anyway, there's a lot of lessons learned. I'm going to continue to unpack that, and I appreciate your time and listening. Thank you so much.
All right. So in December, I didn't get to say my thank yous on my way out because I stayed in the seat. So thank you. So 2025, let's go ahead and continue what we did in 2024. We had some bumps, we had some ups and downs, but we respectfully took care of those problems and those issues as adults. So I would just want to continue that 2025. We're not going to agree on everything as far as even on the council. We won't agree, but we respect each other enough. And this team looks like a good team. It's been a good team. So I look forward to 2025 to being even better than 2024. And with your comments and concerns of the citizens, please bring them to us. Even if they're negative, we got to hear the negative to make that positive. So please bring them to our attention so we can make things better if possible. And just remember, just because your idea, your opinion doesn't mean you're right, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you will be heard. You will be heard. So thank you once again. And let's not wait for a tragedy or a disaster to become neighbors, all right? Talk to your neighbors, say hi. Even out in the farmer's market during the weekend, this weekend was a prime example. Be nice to people. You don't know what they're going through. That one smile and thank you can make their day because you'll know what's going back home. All right, not everyone's out here to visit. In the last couple weekends, they're not here to visit 29 Palms. They're here to get away from where they're at. So remember that. Continue to be who you are, 29 Palms, and thank you. I do have to adjourn this meeting to a closed session. So a closed session of the city council may be held in accordance with the state law, which may include, but is not limited to the following types of items: personnel matters, labor negotiations, security matters, providing instruction on real property negotiators, and conferences of legal counsel regarding pending litigation. The closed session will be held at the City Hall Conference Room located at 6136 Adobe Road, 29 Palms, California. Any public comments on closed session items will be taken before the closed session. Any required announcement or discussion of closed session items or actions following closed sessions will be made in the City Council Chambers, 6136 Adobe Road, 29 Palms, California. 1, conference with legal counsel with anticipated litigation. Counsel, anything? No public? Doesn't seem like you care either. All right. All right. Thank you. You guys want like a 5-minute break to go to the bathroom and whatever? Please? Okay. We'll see you back in the chambers. And which way are we going? That one? I'll meet you in those in 5 minutes. The meeting, the room between next to Ms. Viesquez's office.